Hi there, welcome to my channel. Well, I'd like to give an update on my portfolio. As you guys can see, it is sitting at just a little bit over $328,000 currently. And today was a red day. But as you guys know, the focus of my portfolio is dividends. So whether the market is up or down, I'm still getting paid those dividends. So as you guys can see here, on an annual basis, I should be receiving about almost $65,000 worth of dividends, and a little bit over $5,000 on a monthly basis. And so these are the dividends that'll be coming in um, on the 29th here, which is tomorrow. And I am receiving some dividends today. These two right here from O'Shares US Quality Dividend, almost $3. Rexfang and Innovation Equity Premium Income, almost $50. And these are the dividends that are coming in tomorrow. As you guys can see, about 3 different dividends. And so, as you know, that is the focus of my portfolio. I am building a portfolio that pays me monthly dividends. Now, this didn't happen overnight. I've mentioned it before, this took some time to reach. But nonetheless, I've worked at it and delayed a lot of buying stuff to be able to reach this point. And so there's a lot of really helpful information out there. And one of the guys that I started to listen to be able to get to this point is Dave Ramsey. You may know him. He talks about money, and so uh, one of the first goals he mentions that you should have is reaching $1,000 in savings, and then building up an emergency fund, which is anywhere from 3 to 6 months worth of monthly expenses. And so, yeah, I did that. He also encourages people to stop using credit cards, cut them up. And for a time, I did that. He encourages you to live debt free. And yes, I was debt free for a time. And so for a time, that did help me get to where I currently am. But obviously, currently, right now, I am not following all of his steps. He has various baby steps for financial freedom, Dave Ramsey's. And so I started off with him. His advice was really good. It did help me get to the point where I'm at now. But now I do use a credit card and I am using debt. So as you guys can see here in VTI, which is my largest holding, in VTI I currently have a little bit over $200,000 in this ETF. 800 shares at an average cost of $262 and 76 cents. So a large portion of this $200,000 is margin. Okay. I know there's lots of discouragement out there about using margin, but really, if you really want to get ahead, if you really want to grow your portfolio that much faster, well, then you got to use some margin. And one of the benefits now of using margin in the brokerage that I'm using is that they have lowered their margin rates, their borrowing rates. So it's actually cheaper to borrow money now than it was like last month. So this month, that money is costing me 6.55% interest, I believe, while last month it cost me 8%. So now it's a lot cheaper for me to be borrowing this money, and this money is making me money. And so, as you guys know, I currently have a little bit over 60 different ETFs here. So it's just a bunch of the ETFs here. All of them have one thing in common. They all pay a monthly dividend, with exception to VTI. This is the only one that doesn't pay a monthly dividend. But I am making monthly income from this ETF by selling covered calls. So you may have seen in a previous video that I sell covered calls, and on average I'm making $2,000 a month on those covered calls. So that extra $2,000 a month is not included in this $5,000, a little bit over $5,000 a month. So in reality, I'm making anywhere from $6,000 to $7,000 on a monthly basis. And so how do you get started doing this? Well, you get started by saving money because first of all, to be able to invest, you need money. You need money and you need to be able to save up that money to a certain point. Now, one of those some of that advice from Dave Ramsey's is to save an emergency fund and to have a fully funded emergency fund of anywhere from 3 to 6 months worth of savings. And that in itself could be quite a challenge because it could be $10,000, $20,000. The more money you spend on a monthly basis, the larger that has to be. And so, do I have a fully funded emergency fund? The answer is yes. I have a fully funded emergency fund and I don't touch that money. That money just sits there. It does collect some interest. That money is making me currently like about $100 a month from interest because I have it in a high interest savings account. But I don't use that money to invest. That money just basically sits there. And the way I pay for all of my expenses, I mean everything, rent, everything, all my bills, is through with a credit card. So I pay for everything with a credit card, and then I pay my credit card off with margin. So when you use margin, in the brokerage that I use, the when you, for example, if you put $100,000 in there or 10,000, let's say you have $10,000 in there, and you turn on margin. What's going to happen is they're going to give you an extra $10,000 worth of buying power. So you could potentially buy up to $20,000 worth of all kinds of different ETFs or just one or a variety of stocks. But obviously then you would be using all of the margin, all of the buying power, which is fairly risky. I don't use all of the margin. I don't use all of the buying power. There is still some buying power available to me. And I don't use it all because that would just be way too much risk. And so you got to keep that buying power number fairly high so that you don't get into a margin call. And so since my monthly expenses is only like I'd say about $4,000 a month, I use margin, pay off my credit card. And so that's how I'm living off of margin. And then all these dividends come in, all these dividends, over $5,000 worth of dividends. Also, they come in, they buy more shares of all these different ETFs, and they make me more money. So it increases my buying power, reduces my margin, and of course, all of the income from my job goes into this. So every week I get paid, every week I fully invest that amount. And so that also increases my buying power, reduces my margin, and increases the number of shares that I own. So this thing's turning just into like this big old snowball rolling down a hill. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And I've noticed it getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And so, as you guys know, my goal here is to reach $10,000 a month or $120,000 on an annual basis, which is about $10,000 a month. So currently I'm about 53% of the way there. So not too far off. And as you guys know, all these different ETFs are helping me get to that number, to $10,000 a month. Now, once I do reach that amount, which is hopefully soon, I'm not going to stop. I'm going to continue. I'm just going to bump it up a little bit more and continue heading in a higher direction, because you've got to set financial goals. You know, that first financial goal, $1,000 in the bank. You start to build on that 1,000. You build it up to 5. You build it up to 10. You build it up to 20. Once you hit that amount where it's 3 to 6 months worth of expenses, pretty much anything else after that, I would just invest it. Now, this is not financial advice because I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just telling you what has worked for me and what I am currently doing. And so this is working out for me. It's good. It's been working out for me. And so let's look at NVIDIA again, because this thing has just increased in value even more. And currently, as you guys can see, I'm up a little bit over $1,000 on this position. But I'm not going to sell any because I'm waiting for it to pay me that dividend. And I think probably this time around, it's probably going to pay it close to $2. That's my estimation. I'm thinking like at least $2. And so I've heard some other person's strategy about selling like all the extra equity out of this. For example, today I'm in the green for over $1,000. So I saw some other person saying, "Oh, you should sell that $1,000 worth, and then in a dip, use that $1,000 to buy more shares." And so I did some calculating, did a little bit of math. I would have to sell about 34 shares to get that $1,000 out. And so if I waited for a dip, I mean, if I bought it back again at a previous dip, I guess you could say it's this dip here back in April. If I were to do that, the price would be at about 23.38. Now, for it to go back to this price, I don't know. I think it would really take quite a bit of time for it to go back to this price. And so, at this price, I don't really know if I would be able to actually get more shares, more than I currently own already. So if I were to sell 34 shares, that would get me $1,000. And if it were to drop back down to $23.38, I'm kind of curious to see how many shares I guess I would be able to buy. So for $1,000 divided by $23 and what was it? 23.38. 23.38. Yes, that would purchase 42 shares. Now, but the thing is that if I were to do that, then I wouldn't qualify for those dividends. I'd be cutting myself short from 34 different shares, cutting myself down by 34 shares. And so I wouldn't be able to get those dividends. And who knows if this is going to continue in this trajectory, if it's going to continue to increase in value. I personally think that, yes, it's probably going to continue increasing in value. I was reading about various analysts who are saying that this is a strong buy still currently right now. Although it's already gone so high, it's still potentially a good buy. And so, although a large portion of the market is in the red today, still getting paid dividends, still making that money. And so that is the focus of my portfolio here. And so this took some time to get to, right? It took some time to get to this quantity or this amount, but it's not impossible. I'm a guy with a regular job. I'm a welder, so I have a regular job. I still have that job. I don't get paid a whole bunch of money. I've never made even 6 figures from my job. And so, is it possible for a person with a regular job that doesn't even make 6 figures at the moment? Is it possible for someone like that to get to numbers like these, to get to the point where you have this? It's almost like a machine that's just pumping out money for you every month. Is it possible for you or for anyone within those means to reach these numbers? Well, the answer is yes. Of course it is. Of course it's possible for someone with even a regular job and not even earning six figures on an annual basis. You can reach this. Not financial advice, but yes, I encourage whoever is listening that it can be accomplished. You can produce, or you can buy these and start getting paid a bunch of money. Well, thanks for watching. If you are watching, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing. I really appreciate it. To anybody who's new, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I really would appreciate you to be helping me out a whole lot. Also, if you guys want free money, free stocks, there will be a link in the description to Robinhood. If you guys use that link, you could potentially get up to $200 worth of free stocks from Robinhood. Well, thank you so much. You guys have a great one. If you guys have any questions or comments, please send me a comment, send me a question. And I thank you so much. You guys have a good one. God bless. Talk to you in the next one.